It's late, and tomorrow I'm going to a dinosaur museum in Woodland Park, Colorado, if anyone wants to join me. I'll pretty much be there all day. Recently, I've had two detractors of the In God We Rust campaign that I'm subscribed to make videos and give their reasons why they don't like the In God We Rust campaign. They don't like atheists defacing currency wherever they see religious symbols. Yeah. So I figured that since I am probably the person with the most subscribers that has done this campaign, and I might be the one who's made the most videos this year defacing currency, I thought I would defend to both of these people why I'm doing this. Now, the first one is InventorGorilla, and he's a Christian, and his video will be linked down below. Also, the second one is ForcedIdentity00. He's an atheist, and he has his own reasons, and he'll be linked below. Now, for Forced Identity, in response to his video, I respect people's positions when they decide to not be vocal about the injustices that they might perceive. Sometimes people see something wrong and they just have no energy left within them anymore to fight, you know? And I get that. I have been that drained before. It happens every month to me where I will see something and I'll be like, oh man, I've been fighting so much. I've been calling out so much that's wrong. I just don't have time for this new issue that comes up. Also, every time someone is vocal as an atheist because something is unjust, there will always be detractors of it. And I have been one of them. Recently, I read an article on Atheist.org about 7 in Heaven Street, which it'll probably be the biggest thing this week that people talk about. It's a street named after 7 people who died in the 9/11 tragedy, and they just named it 7 in Heaven Street. Now, I do have a problem with, you know, the separation of church and state, and I don't like publicly named things to just, you know, whimsically be named things, but I can see a very good argument for letting people name this street such as it is. One of these arguments is if all 7 people being recognized with this as a street being named after them, if all 7 of them are Christian, I see it as no different than having Christians being able to have crosses on their grave sites. You know, it reflects them, not the culture that has to drive down the street. Everyone's allowed to drive down the street, Muslims, Jews, atheists, you know, especially in New York, where there's a lot of everyone. So my biggest problem in this article that I read on Atheist.org was the writer himself. You just Google 7 in Heaven Street, and when you see the blog on Atheist.org, read the article and you'll know why I have a problem with the article. It's the argument itself that is so over the top that it made me take a step back and say, whoa, dude, you know, you might have something to argue here, but not that way. not that way. I'm even one for arguing in public, but wow, you are over the top. It's a lot of hyperbole for one blog. Anyways, no matter what you are vocal about when you are the minority and you're opposing something that you see as wrong or oppressive, there will always be someone from the oppressive side and from your own side that will say, hey, dude, that's silly. Why are you even trying to change that? And sometimes it just comes down to what time of the month you catch someone, because people have their ups and downs, and sometimes people want to fight, and sometimes they have no fight left in them. And as for InventorGorilla, I'm gonna get a little bit more descriptive in my reasons for doing this to currency. Why would I have a problem with the term "in God we trust"? And especially having that term on our currency. In the description box, I will give you a link to a poll that shows that the most distrusted group in America is atheists. So, on the same, the same group of people that have currency that says, "In God we trust," the same group of people also distrusts atheists and distrusts the people who do not trust in God. The same group of people that puts "in God we trust" on their currency is also the same group of people that would be less likely to vote for atheists than any other group of people. That will be another study that I will put in the description box. Sometimes the way that I see it is, this is God right here with a capital G. This is the Christian God. There's a lot of wackos out there that think that this country started as a theocracy and it needs to go back to one. But some people will argue that God is just any God. It's not just the Christian God. It could be a general God, whatever you believe in God. So the only people that are being left out of this equation right here are the atheists who don't believe in a God. In fact, link in the description box, in this country, people would be more likely to let their children marry Muslims than atheists. And there's a measurable difference there. And the reason why is because those Muslims have some sort of faith-based belief system, and that's at least more acceptable than no faith at all. Oh my goodness. So I've got a lot of reasons for not liking this term specifically, okay? 3 studies down there in the description box. I will put them there. I know I will. And when I think about why I enjoy this little peaceful public display when I mark these things and make a video, InventorGorilla said, so when the banks see this, if they catch the bill marked in any way, if they catch it, they're likely to just save the bill and destroy it rather than put it back into circulation. I myself have seen very few of these come back to me. I've seen more bills with where'sgeorge.com and then someone's name, on a stamp than I've seen "in God we rust." But you see, these videos that I'm making, they don't go away. And InventorGorilla like, by the end of his video, he was explicitly saying, it's so stupid, you should stop making these videos. There's a reason why he wants me to stop making these videos. Is because these videos last longer than this currency. These videos are going to last forever. You know, or they, at least they have the capacity to, because, you know, it's the internet. I really feel like InventorGorilla, as a Christian, as an outspoken Christian, thinks that atheists are immoral. You know, you can't trust an atheist because he has no morals. But what you can trust is God. You know, this is what he trusts. And the only source of trust is a belief in some sort of God. You know, you can't trust atheists. So, this is one of the reasons why I do this. Also, government has spent decades demonizing atheists as if it was in some way related to communism in every atheist you find. So, you know, when InventorGorilla says that this is a symbol of all the veterans that have died for our country, and marking out "In God We Trust" is something horrible. You know what? I'm a fucking disabled vet, you know? Fuck you. You know, I know at least 3 other disabled vets that are doing this, you know? And the country that we risked our lives for is not the country that puts this on their currency. We're trying to change that. The country that we believe in has a healthy separation of church and state. In fact, last night I posted a video with a very poignant speech from John F. Kennedy about the separation of church and state, and I think you should watch it, every one of you. I think another reason why InventorGorilla doesn't like me making videos like this, or making videos in general, I think he'd like me to just stop where I am right now, is because there's a fear on his part that just my mere existence as an atheist might lead some people to question their faith. You know? Like, if a Christian never encountered someone who would readily admit that they're an atheist, if somehow all atheists could be kept in the closet and be pressured to never say it publicly, I am an atheist, and here I am doing something, and I'm not afraid to do it. I'm not afraid to make blasphemy in your face. If somehow InventorGorilla could make all of us stop being public about it, maybe there would be Christians who would be raised Christian and never have to question whether or not they may be wrong, because everyone they ever meet is Christian, because they'll be able to have more insular and protected lives. They'll never have to see other opinions. Well, this is an opinion, you know, that I'm making very public, and I enjoy the fact that there are people who will be able to see a little bit more diversity because this is in their face. And I also think that one reason that InventorGorilla hates atheists is he thinks that we're trying to ruin tradition. And by tradition, I mean the privileged status that Christians enjoy in America. Because this dollar does not say, praise be to Allah. You know, it doesn't say Elohim, Yahweh, things that would separate Jewish culture from Christianity. No, this is a Christian statement that was put here, not even a century ago, and it needs to go. because it was wrong when they did it. And I think the only way that this happened was when one religious group became a majority and decided to have their government start reflecting the majority's values to the detriment of everyone else's opinion and values. You know, this is not what I want on my currency. And there's only, 4% of us that are vocal as being atheists in this country right now, but it's a growing number. And it might be larger if you take into account that, all the people that are still scared to come out, because every time they do things that are in public, there's someone like InventorGorilla to be there and say, hey, if you are an atheist, you better shut up until you're absolutely sure, and you can know that you're absolutely sure when I tell you to, so just shut up forever. So, yeah. Here is to taking away the privileged status of Christians in America. Brought to you by Mountain Dew Whiteout. This is awesome stuff. It's like Squirt and Mountain Dew mixed together. So, I've got $2 bills here. First one we're going to say is dedicated to ForcedIdentity00. I did enjoy your video, and I enjoyed your rant about how Christians should be the ones doing this, not atheists. They should be scratching out the whole thing. And this one right here, I'm going to do for InventorGorilla. This one's his. And let's see. Also for InventorGorilla, he asked, why don't we just start marking out the all-seeing eye? Because that's not a Christian symbol, but he thinks it's some other sort of religious symbol. Why don't we mark out the pyramid? Let's give our pyramid a mustache and a goatee, an evil person goatee. Isn't that awesome? He's got a blacked out eye, kind of like a pirate's eye patch will make it. Awesome. Yeah. What else? See anything else religious? That's the only thing that he mentioned. Let's flip it over. Not seeing anything else, but just in case, we're just gonna write on top, this bill is not a place for respecting, this is a long word, on the bottom, the establishment of religion. And you know what? The bill is still going to work for my next transaction. And the funny thing is, InventorGorilla was arguing that we should be worried about other things, such as too much currency being in play, and how our government is printing too much of this currency and putting it into circulation, and they're making fake money, and they're devaluing our money. I believe he said we should be more worried about the fact that this is 73 cents instead of $1 than marking out the T. Well, if they take this bill and they take it out of circulation just because I marked on it right there, then yeah, I just negated the way that they printed money and put too much into circulation. Don't you think? Also, it's been asked of me, am I prepared to get arrested for this? Yes. Yes, and refer to Thomas Jefferson's words on what you should do when you find a law to be unjust, and you'll know exactly how I feel about that. I would wear that felony as a badge of honor, really. And I would have so much fun in a court of law if I ever had to, stand trial for something like this. I would hope that a court wouldn't waste its time with me, but if I had to fight, I would, and I'm pretty sure that I could get some pretty good representation from a lot of people that would back me up on this. So, night everyone. Dinosaur Museum tomorrow.